Hi. No plan. I just haven't been on my own channel in quite some time. So I thought I would pop on here, see what everyone is doing. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm gonna be back. I've just been just kind of taking a break. I've been on a few other channels. Hey, chaotic, pop up. I sent you the link. But yeah, I don't know. I felt bad. I haven't gone live for a while. And hey D, it's time I get back to it. So I figured I would just kind of have kind of a chill, just catch up, see how everybody's doing. Could talk about some things if you want to ask questions or whatnot. But yeah, no plan. I'm gonna share this on my Facebook though. It's so weird. It's like always hard to get back to like find my own live streams on YouTube. I don't get it. Hey Taffy. Good to see you. Oh, that's a perfect picture. It's like me going like that's the picture because I didn't pick like a thumbnail. So then you just get stuck with like whatever your face looks like when they like pick it. That's something. But yeah, I just got off of Evil CJ. He was or to wait, the what is his name? When they're long, I just struggle. The Evil Bill CJ. CJ, he's just a really cool cat, and he had a large panel tonight, which I was quite overwhelmed with at first, but yeah, it ended up really being good, and not a whole lot about Delphi, which I think it turned out even better, you know. Hey Cher, hey Monica, good to see you guys. Hey Chris. Um, I was gonna go to bed, but then I was like, nah, I'm already sitting here in this closet with this shower curtain, so I might as well say hi. But what's everybody been up to? I think it's been a couple weeks since I've been on. I just get in moods where I get overwhelmed and then I just like I gotta do my own I gotta do something not uh this. Oh, Crimezilla, hello. How are you
Hello.
how are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yay.
Doing good. Just trying to I figured I would just like go live randomly and that'll get me back um in the swing of things of putting out more content on
More
my own channel.
good for you. I know I was just watching you on the other channel.
I know I've been getting like a lot of offers and like people are like, when are you going to do something? Like, when are you going to be back? Like, what's going on? I'm just like,
You're like, oh, I took a time out.
yeah, sometimes it's healthy of just to like take a step back and evaluate and things are going on in my own like family and just, my kids have been home a lot more, which y'all know I podcast from my child's closet.
Yes.
She's been home a lot, which I love, like I know she's only going to be here for probably another year and she'll be off. She'll be graduated from college then and maybe even next semester. She's thinking about moving back down to IU. So
Oh,
I could have two at two different colleges next school year. So that'll be
mm,
crazy.
my
Just
boys
like,
are gone.
yeah,
They're grown. It's hard.
I'm not looking forward to it. am not. Hey, Butterfly Kisses, Chris, Grandma Sherry. I think she had a really great panel on Sunday and I couldn't catch a lot of it because I was at my family's, but about emotional intelligence.
Oh, wow.
And you could probably offer a lot with your degree, your background,
I
Crone. You to reach out to her.
I want to watch it now.
Yeah, it was really good. And my theory is with that has always been that's the factor with nature nurture for serial offenders and like psychopathy
It
is
is.
the
It is.
emotional IQ. Um, there's no other reason to explain um,
Ye-
multi-child family units where you know some come out unscathed, and then you
Right.
have a one or that's a serial killer.
You are right. And, I've been real big into the Kohlberg case. And so I've been talking to a few of my coworkers about psychopathy. And
Hmm.
because I feel like I think we all have it in us. I can't believe I just said that. But
Hmm.
there's something that stops us, you know?
Yeah.
We, but what is that that stops us, you know?
Yeah.
And how come these people, the psychopaths, um, it becomes a pattern with them almost. And I've been doing a lot of research on children with it.
Hmm.
Um, and it's definitely some interesting studies. You can start to see some of it when they're younger. It's just you've got to look and, not write it off. Say a kid trips somebody.
Hmm.
Well, a child that doesn't have, some empathy there will just keep walking, where another
Hmm.
child may stop and help the child up. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's so tough. It's a
Yeah.
tough topic. I mean, even when you
It
start,
is. And like impulsivity too.
yes, the
Um,
impulsiveness in that front lobe of the brain
yeah.
is
And
huge.
mhm.
And
Yeah, and the brain is so complex. It's so fascinating, but
it is.
like it's still there's a lot of unknowns. That I'm sure in another decade we're gonna have like full understanding, and they've been
Yeah.
trying to find the killer gene, the
Hmm.
part of the brain that is, like different parts I can't remember what the part of the brain is that they were zeroing in on in research when I left off with it. But
Right.
my thing has always been like no matter where I am, I'm always like trying to figure what makes people tick,
Oh,
and,
yes.
and and what drives them, what motivates them to feel the way they do and feel strongly about certain things. And it's usually human experience, of like what you've gone through or, you know,
Right.
but we also live in a world where perception is reality. And
Exactly.
I think that we all have it in us to commit. Um, I was just talking about it earlier with my man, and of there's not much that I would not do to save the life of my two children.
Yeah. No,
There's
me
not,
neither.
there's, I can't think of a limit where I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. You'll just go ahead and kill them.
Right.
I mean, you can think whatever you want of me, but that's just the truth of how I feel, as a mother. Like,
Yeah.
I would die for them. I would kill for them.
Well, and I
Like.
I
in
always
certain
won
situations.
yeah. I always wondered what I mean, I raised a son with
Are
autism.
you kidding? Hold on a second.
What's the matter?
That mother forker. Hi, Cold Truth. We are writing to inform you that your channel has been
Oh
issued a
no.
strike for violating a community guideline. As a result, your channel is in the middle of a strike period. We understand that you may be eager to continue streaming on your channel, but we must caution you that doing so while under a strike puts you at risk of termination for ban evasion. What?
What?
Do you think that's like a troll? I have gotten nothing. Like I have not gotten an email from YouTube. Nothing.
Oh,
This is all news to me.
wow.
Yeah, I have nothing. Like I have no email from them. I have no information that I'm honest. Like my channel's been struck. I just literally had YouTube run a check on my channel to make sure that I wasn't um like,
Oh,
doing anything against their guidelines, and I was messaging with a person and they ran a check on my channel that took quite a long time and they said I'm all good.
good.
So, this is like super confusing.
Good Lord.
I mean, I don't I
If you click on the YouTube on your side, on the actual conversation.
Oh, chaotic saying it's fake. She
Okay.
checked the link. Okay.
Okay. My goodness. Um, so yes, I raised a son with autism, and he does not have empathy, but he's not I actually was always afraid because he had an explosive disorder. Um and he he would be the one that I would worry could do something when he got so angry.
Mhm.
Obviously he did, but we survived it all those years. I don't know how. Um, but they are I often study him, and he hates when I do that. But I ask him questions, what is going on in that brain of yours, I mean, when you get really impulsive, he's like, Mom, I cannot stop. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's definitely interesting when you hear, I mean, he's high functioning autism with
Mhm.
some other stuff, but
Okay.
it's definitely difficult when he gets angry
Mhm.
to calm himself down. Now, if we can catch him at a certain point, then we can do that. But is the psychological side, where do you fit the impulsiveness in there? Because a lot of it is, he was very impulsive. I mean, somebody laughed at him for wearing an Indian. I made a vest for him because we were having a Thanksgiving thing at his school. Well, I dropped him off. I left the school like all moms do.
Mhm.
And I get a call about 45 minutes later. A friend of
Mhm.
mine said, did you know Ben is, oh, sorry, did you know your son's walking down the street, down the highway? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
Oh,
no.
dang.
I said, he's at school. And what happened is somebody laughed at him, And so he just walked right out of school, went walking down the highway, and she was able to stop him. But he was still, even after
Phew.
walking a mile, was still so mad that two cop cars pulled over because she was fighting him on the side of the road. She had to pin him down on the ground because he was so mad. And he was kicking and biting. And so, it often makes me wonder how much how much they actually remember, because for sometimes he doesn't even remember that rage.
Mm,
So when you have somebody that has a brain injury, are they
yeah,
more likely to have that? And and then it goes back to that nature versus nurture.
yeah,
um, he was We held him accountable, we never let him off,
yeah,
um, but we still struggled with it for years.
yeah. I can imagine. I mean, my parents took in foster kids. Um, that was rough definitely me. I mean,
Hmm.
and it was the reactive attachment. That's the best I can like describe it, of just, the when you don't uh sh- when a child is not held as a baby, it can really affect the way the brain is, and it's lifelong,
Yes.
and I got a front row seat to a child that was a psychopath, with different, no empathy whatsoever. She could mimic behavior and she would practice. It was so creepy. She would practice, like, she would really watch how I interacted with my mom. And then she would practice that interaction. And then she would try to have that with my mom. She had my mom duped.
Oh,
Meanwhile, like, behind closed doors, she was sticking, cutting me on the inside of my legs, and
oh,
she was
right.
making me stick forks and light sockets and threatening my baby brother with knives. And I mean, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But,
W-
like,
Well, my
she had
friend
zero
who,
impulse control, zero. Hey,
yes,
Digger Dave.
uh,
Hey, B Rad. How are you doing? Hey, Crime Geek. Butterfly kisses.
that my
Bid and
friend, the one
queries. Good to
picked
see
up
you.
my kid from running away from school.
Mhm,
Both her sons they adopted them from Russia.
mhm.
And she got them both at a year old. And they have that
Yeah,
diagnosis. And
yeah,
behind closed doors, they were terrible. They were awful. It was tough. I never complained about my kiddo.
yeah,
She had
yeah,
two of them, and she
yeah,
still, as adults, they're still struggling.
yeah, I remember. Do you remember that case where, and I'm not saying that they're right whatsoever, like, don't get it twisted, but, like, where, a family had adopted, I think it was a little boy from Russia, and they, like, sent him back on, like,
Yes,
the plane by himself. It was like, "We
I
can't."
did.
And, like, I dug a little deeper on that story, and it kinda sounded like, similar. I have a client right now, and their family is in they adopted two little girls from China, and, one is a danger to herself and everyone around her, especially her little sister. And it is a scary situation, and getting the appropriate help
Yeah,
fast enough
yeah.
is really hard,
Non-existent.
like, it is,
Yeah, we had to call the police a few times, and they walk in and they're looking at me, and what would you like us to do? Hmm. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're
You
kidding.
tell me.
You tell
Right.
me. How about grab my child, get him off me, and we'll discuss it then on the next steps. And
Yeah.
we, they've taken him to the emergency room, and if he is not a danger to himself, they will send them home.
Yeah.
It was shocking to me.
Yeah.
It's
I've
it's
been
it's crazy stuff,
I've been digging
and it's sad
into.
to watch. It's sad to be the parent, having to call the police on your own child.
Oh, I
Um,
bet. I can't imagine.
but he was so strong when he would get in those fits that he would, like, he threw a mattress over the top of me and I couldn't even get out. It was a queen mattress and I couldn't get out because he sat on top of it.
Oh,
And
wow.
it definitely. So when the officer said, "What would you like us to do?" I'm just laying there going, "You're kidding, right? How about help me get."
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely it
Yeah.
families that take on and adopt and continue. But I actually read the article on that one where the
Mhm.
parents took,
Yeah.
and
They need to
they
be
actually got
prepared
in
for
trouble
that.
for it.
They don't know. Like, they don't know the damage that does, of just, like, especially a lot there's a lot of cases in China where
Hmm.
these children are put in these ginormous, like,
A room, a room
orphanages.
with like 20 cribs piled
And
on
then,
top
yeah,
of
and,
each
like,
other.
they're not held enough, and that is
No,
just something that is absolutely, like, if you don't hold a baby, it will die. It
yes.
will literally die. And so even just, some, will, affect them, especially in those, early months of life. But yeah, I've been researching, the, medical history of Damien Eccles so far. I haven't got to the other ones. I don't know if there's much medical history on the other ones, but I, Burn After Reading, covered West Memphis 3, and great dude, like, such an awesome dude. So Burn After Reading, go sub to him for sure. But I was like, man, I really thought, that they could possibly, like, be innocent. I would
Right.
never, I didn't know for sure. I hadn't looked into the case enough, but he sends me, and I'm like, hey, does this mostly from the appeals? Like, where did you get, like, you got a tip for me? And he sends me this website that is chuck full. Like, there's not much missing. I haven't found anything that's missing yet. It's very detailed, and, like, the medical history of Damien Eccles is on there, and just some of that oppositional defiance of just, like, there are no there were no boundaries. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not through the trial. I'm not. I've spent all weekend last weekend, like, it was fascinating to me to, like, really dig that deep into a very complicated case. Oh, Fucci, ah
That he's a piece of work.
already, like, that. So
And
is that the appeal? Is it an appeal, or is it post conviction relief? But
and
yeah,
I
that
watched that
kid
whole thing.
is
I
that was
followed
so,
the gang.
ugh,
It,
so horrible. Like,
and what's even worse
didn't even know the
is
girl. Like,
I yeah, he did know the girl.
well, I
They were
mean, but
friends.
not very much.
Yeah, they
Like,
hung out at I watched all the court stuff with it, all
Yeah.
the interviews,
Mhm.
and
But they weren't in a relationship, right?
he no, I thought she liked him, but he had a girlfriend.
Mhm.
So they all hung out together, but he had told the girlfriend that he was going to kill somebody this
Yeah.
month. And, my thing is, we've got to work on these kids more, that at least report it if it doesn't happen. And you know what I mean? This,
Yeah.
what was really sad to me about her was it could have been prevented.
Yeah.
And I mean, mom is on trial next
Yeah.
because she washed his pants. And
Yeah.
it's
Like, on their own, like, cameras.
yeah, I was like,
Like, wow. But, yeah, there's, like, that there's just so many cases, and then I like Crime Geek and we were on the phone the other day for, like, when we get on the phone, like, we just end up talking for hours, but, we were talking about, mass shooters, and I was telling her, just how difficult those are for me to, cover, because I just am, like, so like, just, I guess it's for me, it's like, I can't wrap my head around the psychology of it, like, completely, and so it's like this, um, category all of its own, and then it just really pisses me the fork off that it turns into, a political, both sides, left and right. They both do it, and, like,
oh yeah,
every single time it gets made about, agendas, and it's just, like, at the heart of it, like, it is not about the, left or the right, it's about the individual and the family unit and, the mental health,
right.
like, at the crisis level we're at when we're raising all of these kids in an age of just feelings. Your feelings
Well,
are all like, they've become, I commented somewhere, I don't even remember where, but, like, we went from, like, where's Ivy Rose at gonna be calling me a boomer when I'm a Gen X? But,
yes,
like, the boomers and Gen X, like,
yeah,
especially us that are, more closer to the boomer side of the Gen X, that,
yes,
it was a suppression of feelings. You don't, talk about certain things. You don't
right,
share certain things. If you have trauma, you bury it. There, mental illness, like, like, was not a priority at all. It's like we have overcorrected into another just as bad situation with teaching our children that feelings are, number one, because that's just not how the world works. The world's not fair. Your
it's
feelings don't matter to most of the people that you are going to come in contact with.
right.
They are important, but
Well,
they are not supreme, you
well,
know?
I
And
work in the school system here, and um, I'm in
hey,
elementary
Aspen.
and elementary schools, and I'm going to tell you, we're in big trouble with these new kids coming out. It is scary.
Yeah.
Uh,
And, like, I
they
think
have no respect for adults
they do
whatsoever.
not they do not have
They have
respect
zero
for
respect.
authority at
Uh,
all. And my
yeah,
thing is like, I don't know. I don't know. Just I try not to get very political on here, but, like, I don't feel like this is a political statement. I am proud to be an American. where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, like the men
Right.
who died. Like, we're living in this scary time in history
It
where
is.
first time, where our children are being taught to be ashamed of their country and um, find me a better one. With all of the problems that we are headed towards in the United States, this is still the best country in the entire world.
Right.
And when we are teaching our children to be ashamed of their country, we are canceling Patriot Day, Red, White, and Blue Day at schools, public schools,
Yes.
because the kids that participate are being bullied. When we are allowing our children to disrespect the flag, when we are allowing our children to disrespect the president, I don't care who it is. I do not currently, I'm not a super big fan of the president elect, but that is the president of the United States. I wasn't a super big fan of the president before him, you know, but this teaching our children to be ashamed of their country is a major problem. It's a major problem
Yeah.
because those are so like the 2 and 3 and 4-year olds that are being raised in this, and by the time they're in control of this country, they have no values, they have no ground to stand on and to feel some way about this country except for ashamed, and that just is you know
It really is. And when we're, as a school, put on lockdown, which happened this week, for 30 minutes we were in lockdown, um, because a child went after the school resource officer and went for his gun.
mm,
And when that's happening, I also think parents need to be so much more involved. Um, the computers, the, you know, games kids are playing, it's not, they've got to be more involved in their kids.
mhm,
And, we're losing, this is not a lie. We're losing 400 teachers in our county this year because they are not, parents are not guiding these kids, and they're coming to school and torturing these teachers, and the teachers are too afraid to touch them because of
mhm,
lawsuits. And it's a
yeah,
scary thing. And I don't blame these teachers. I'm there every single day. And I mean, when you've got a third grader saying F you to you, and all you're doing is walking down the hall, it's just not okay. It's just, you know, it makes no sense. The principal always has 5 or 6 kids in her office. They have 2 assistant principals.
mhm,
And this is happening everywhere.
yeah,
It's just, parents need to be involved. They need to know what their kids are watching, what they are
mhm,
doing. They need to know what's in their room.
yeah,
And but it
and,
is,
like, putting boundaries on your child
boundaries
and,
are huge.
like,
Yes.
like, I can like, there was a time the, oh, what do you call that? The director of the school that my children attended and attend. I am not a fan of the dude. Like, he is such a narcissist. Like, the school board meetings are a joke. Like, nothing, he's just terrible. Um, but his title is Dr. Snap. Okay. So my kids, I
Oh,
know, right? Of course. My kids were
on
just
that.
being,
Yeah.
joking around, and we were talking about him, and like it wasn't in a negative connotation. It was just about like, like what he had said was going to be happening at the school just for an event. And my daughter was like, yeah, that Jim, because that's his first name. And
Right.
I was immediately like, you do not call him. Don't you do that ever again. Like, I get that you're joking right now, but that is not okay. He is Dr. Snap. And if I ever get wind of you calling a teacher anything other than ma'am or Mrs., you're
Yeah.
grounded. Your phone's mine.
Yep.
And if I ever get a call where you have not obeyed, or there are they do know things where if a teacher, certain things, like they're known, like you walk out of the classroom. You be like, I
Yes.
know my rights, and you walk out and you go to the office, and you demand to have me called. But like, other than that, which would be rare and never happened, like, you do not talk back, like in a disrespectful
Right.
manner to authority. Like, it
Yeah.
was a rule that my ex-husband has, that we have, and it's just not taught anymore. And these teachers just have no, I mean, there's cats in school, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Like
And
what
dogs, by the way.
more, and I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. And it's a real easy fix. Well, you know what, son, daughter, cats don't have phones, dogs don't have cell phones, so let me go ahead
Exactly.
and take that from you, and I guarantee you they're not going to identify as a cat, and school's not going to put a freaking kitty litter box in the bathroom. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
come on now, you know
Now they pulled Judy Blume books out of the public schools because it's
why.
inappropriate material for the kids to read. Have you looked at that? If you look at they have a website where it shows all public schools um, pulling out different books from their libraries. Judy Blume. I grew up on Judy Blume, and I'm okay.
Hmm.
Maybe if our kids read more, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm very strong on it because I see the abuse to the teachers and they're just done. They're just done.
Yeah.
The disrespect, and they can't they can suspend the kids, but then
Hmm.
they just play video games at home. They're not learning from it.
No. Yeah, and just the entitlement, and we wonder
It
why
is the
mass shootings are
entitlement.
on a rise, when everybody is taught to um live in this just incredible amount of feelings. Like I said, just the overcorrection. We tend to do that historically,
Right.
as a society, of overcorrection, of like I said, with the suppression of feelings. That is terrible to do to children.
Yes.
I am a product of that generation, and I know firsthand, and I know first, for seeing it with other family members and friends. That is not the answer. That is not it. But this, you are this over this. Everything is based on how you feel, and the world doesn't give a flying fork about your feelings,
Right.
like,
Right.
it's just like that's just how it is. And so when you're teaching all of these kids that their feelings are the ultimate, like, and they're just, um everything, when everything is centered around that, and it's like this massive overcorrection where really we just need to be kind of in the middle of the two. Like we
Right.
just like scale it back a little bit, but it really starts in the home and the school. And when you have this like entitlement, of course
Yeah.
you're going to have a bunch of angry kids that, how dare like I be picked on, or you know, anything bad happen to me. How dare they not listen to me? How dare they not, give me the job opportunity? Because now, with that
Exactly.
bank
Why don't
shooting,
I get the award?
right,
Why
and
didn't I
this
get that?
whole
Well, you gotta
freaking,
earn it.
right, like I I call me a rough parent, but like,
Right.
I was not down with the everybody gets a trophy. No, you
Right.
don't. In the
You gotta
workforce, everybody doesn't get a trophy.
yeah.
And sometimes the people that deserve the trophies don't actually get them. It's the smoozers that get them. The
Right.
ones that do nothing but make it look like they do a whole lot. Those narcissists. And it's just like, life is not fair. And when you don't teach your children that from a young age, you're setting them up for failure. Maybe they won't end up being mass shooters, but it is a mental health crisis, and we have not done much to really center around really fixing that. And our government officials, when they gather, they are protected by all the guns that everybody wants to take away from everybody else. They are protected by those same guns that they're coming for. So that's ridiculous. But why are our schools not, um, and even if they have to be institutions, more of like, it looks like a prison. I would rather, we even asked my daughter, like, and she's like, I don't care. I hate being there regardless. I don't care what it looks like, what it feels like,
Right.
and it's just like, they're like, we need to take steps to secure these buildings. Like our town has a complete police force for the schools, and there's someone sitting outside, and I need I didn't even think about it, but with the shooting that happened in Tennessee, it was like, wow, I wonder, like, because they have the double door, double lock system where, and even after the double lock, you can only have access to the office. Those poor ladies. But they have to give you a pass. You have to give them your like identification, like you have to give them your ID, and then you can go into the school building
Right.
once they
Well,
have.
and it's different for Florida schools because everything's outdoors. Like to get into your classroom, you're walking outside.
Yeah.
And it's different
Mm,
here. I mean, we have it's all gated around the school, but you're
yeah.
we're walking outdoors where a lot of people in schools you're like in the obviously the winter months you guys can't be like having outdoor schools. I say outdoor schools meaning the sidewalks, everything, going class to class, it's all outside. It's strange. When I first moved here, I'm like, what in the world is this?
Yeah, that'd be hard to, you
Yes,
know. Um, I think that our town does a really great job of keeping our kids safe.
that's amazing.
But there's always mishaps, and like, um, they have a really good networking and reporting system for anything seen on social media, and like
Yeah,
algorithms that will that monitor like keywords in the area. And then like further investigations been done on a few of those, of like online, Instagram. I think one was on Instagram, one was on
oh, see that.
Snapchat, was sent to other. friends in the school, and those children reported it to their parents, who turned around and reported it to the school.
Good.
And the school's on lockdown. And then the one was like a couple of them have happened like the night before, and they literally do not make you send your kids to school. It's an excused absence, of just,
Yeah.
this is the threat. We believe that we have it neutralized, but we understand that you would want to know this information before, you send your kids to school tomorrow. And every time I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, and they don't
It's
tell
gonna
us.
keep her home.
Yeah, they when they come on the intercom, they don't tell you whether it's real or if it's just a test or
Yeah.
a, and
Yeah.
that's, we
It's sad.
knew
Like,
we knew after 15 minutes of trying to keep all the kids quiet in one area, and you've got 30 kids in one area, and you're telling everybody to, stay down, be quiet.
mhm,
And all the adults were all like, what is going on? You know,
mhm,
we knew it had to be real. And it's not a situation anybody wants to be in. And then when I go in home and I'm talking to the parents, and the conversation came up, what would you do? And I'm like, well, of course I'd put myself in front of as many kids as I could. You know what I mean? Because that's just who I am, and a lot of those teachers would do the same.
yeah,
And it's sad. It's not it's scary
yeah,
to think that these kids can't even be safe when they go into a school. And I'm not
yeah,
saying that they're not trying to put preventatives in place and all of that, but you can't.
yeah.
The
A lot of
kids
these
are,
places need to do better, and I'm s
yeah,
I was so, I mean, I think it's just even more, like, obviously, across the board, when mass children are gunned down, it is
yes,
just the worst. But when an adult goes into a school
right,
and mows down 3 9-year-olds and 3 teachers or secretaries in their 60s, like, fuck her. Like, at 28, or 27 or 28 years old, like, what
yeah.
in the hell
Why are you going
is
after
happening?
young innocent? And Aspen, you are so right. We've noticed our kids have been more jumpy, and he is totally right about that. When you hear loud noises and you don't know what it is, it's like, do you take cover, do you stand? And it definitely,
Yeah.
it's totally different. You notice, like, before you go out of the classroom, we have a rule. There has to be, if kids go to the nurse, they have to go in threes. And
Yeah.
it definitely is. It's You try as the adult to calm the kids, but you also want to practice with the kids so that if anything ever does happen, they can be safe.
Mhm.
It's like we were all ready, this week we were all ready to empty out cabinets and start putting kids in them. It's just, you just never know. And it's not a good feeling. And I mean, thank God it hasn't happened. And when Columbine happened, I lived in Colorado. We lived pretty
Oh,
close
really?
to school. And at the time, I worked for a children's hospital in Denver. So, of course, all extra staff got called in for that. And, um, it definitely, even back then, I mean, I remembered just the emotional effect on these kids. It's something that stays with them for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good question, David Gray. And they're
Yeah,
losing a lot of parents are starting to go to homeschooling, but there's other parents that really struggle.
and they can't.
Homeschooling is not as easy as people think. I sent one of my boys to public school and we homeschooled our second one due to medical issues. And
Right, Aspen?
once he started seventh grade, um, we came
Yes.
home and it
Spanking.
was one of the hardest things. What did he say?
Yeah. I mean, 100%, like, they're like, most of the kids at my school, like, they went hunting before school.
Mm,
So, during different hunting seasons where the squirrel, deer, whatever, and so, a rack with a 12 gauge, on your truck
right,
or, whatever was common occurrence. Like, there was no locks on the doors. It was just but, like, never one time did I, like, that wasn't even a thought. But yeah, the principal like spanking you. Absolutely. I got threatened by lots of
yeah,
paddles.
yep, me too.
I think I was only spanked once in the school, not at home. That was quite frequent,
Yeah, it's
but yeah,
it's
like
definitely a different environment for these
yeah,
kids.
and like my daughter, like, she didn't take the video, but she showed it. She showed me quite a few over both of them have over the years of just um this zero tolerance for violence, which, violence is not good, but there's a time and a place where when you are fighting off someone who is pummeling you, or
Yes,
you are trying to step in to protect someone else that is being beat up by someone way bigger, and you are expelled, r- like there's zero it's the same, punishment. And so then you end up with these kids that are standing around and recording it, and no one's stepping in. And I have seen some atrocious videos that really pissed me the fork right off, of like, I told my kids, I was like, but then, it's like, I don't care about that. Like, you disregard that, you're not in trouble with me, and I will make it known with the school when they expel you or whatever they do, and we will figure out an alternative school for you. But it came to play, like, both of my children are extremely intelligent, and they do really well in school, and they've gotten scholarships for college, and that is
amazing.
the sad part is those things would affect their college career, which is just really sad. And then you see where these teachers can't even get like they can't get involved. They'll get fired,
Oh
you
yes,
know.
and here the administration doesn't back up.
Mhm.
It's such a constant battle trying to figure it out. Um,
Bye,
you
Cindy. Good to see you.
but yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I it's weird. I kind of been away from true crime for a while. I've been really busy, but it's definitely mostly because I'm too tired by the time I get home. It's definitely crazy
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah, like I did the same vid. Same. My kids will never go to public or private school again. Wow. Yeah. I grew up a no school kid, and so I have my own like baggage with some of the pitfalls of homeschool. If
Yes.
you're a parent, you have to be committed, and I have some friends that are awesome homeschool parents, and their kids are very well adjusted. They're not socially awkward, and they're so you can tell they're highly intelligent and just like ready for life. But there are some that just like don't do that. They don't help their kids to they don't find other things for them to be involved in, or
It,
actually homeschool them. Like I just wasn't school, like it was I wasn't, and it just wasn't a good experience for me and my brother. And so I have my own like little, like issues with because it's not for the faint of parent, to homeschool your
no,
kid. It is
it,
a huge responsibility,
it it is beyond huge. I mean, it's you are the teacher, you are the parent, and it was definitely, I know with my youngest, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was
It
so,
is. It
I like
parenting is
when they
just
he he did not want to put the gown on for graduation. Um, and we just kind of did our own simple ceremony and stuff with
yeah.
just close family and friends. And I said, no, all my blood and sweat and arguing with you, you're putting it on for 5 minutes. And he goes, set the timer. So I got 3 pictures and I was happy.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
Cindy says I made it to 2.
Oh, yay! Go Mel.
Yeah.
Um, Good for you. I didn't know
I
what you
don't know.
were
I mean, it's like,
we kind of
the thing
closed it.
is like I'm just not consistent, and that's just probably never going to be. I work. I've been, like I've got like this I
Yeah,
consider to be like,
you have a life.
it's kind of a job. It's a lot of work to do YouTube, and I mean, it takes a lot of hours. And then like I've
Yeah.
got 3 other jobs. So,
Hmm.
I don't have time to be consistent. I just don't have it. Like I can't. I am at work, you know. Today was I killed myself today. I was like, what in the world was I thinking? Like I had I was a double booked, all color highlight haircuts, and all of the thickest, like all of my clients that have like enough hair for 3 people at
Oh,
least. It's
jeez.
like, wow, all in a matter of 6 hours, and I managed to stay on time in our hot salon.
Oh, jeez.
But
Ask
yeah,
to
like
celebrate
I'm
with
so
you.
happy to not go to work tomorrow. Like I don't have to work, so I'm really pumped.
I work, but it's the weekend almost. Um,
No bananas.
yep. I was just reading that. I
But
was
I
gonna
need a refill. You mind carrying the show
go.
for a minute while I go pee and get a refill?
Yeah, I'll keep them busy.
Okay.
Aspen didn't offer me frozen banana. I'll eat it. Cocktail. That sounds really good right now. It does sound good. So now you all know a little bit about me and what I do. I'm actually a behavior therapist and I'm contracted to the schools. And so I help children with autism. And I'm a night owl, which doesn't work well with my schedule. I love weekends. I was going back up. I wonder, Chaotic must have gotten her phone call. Oh, Cindy. I have a pretty good schedule, actually. They I don't go in till 10, so it works out really nice. Well, hello, Lake Michigan. Good to see you. Mel's guest. I just joined. What is your name and where do I? Are you asking me, Laura Ann? Yes, I did, Lake. It's still going on. I was worried I was going to lose power. It was blinking. It's been ugly tonight. No more hurricanes. We're off for right now. We're in the off season. It starts back up. Wait, starts back up November to March. I always have to. I sometimes I get it backwards.
Hey,
But
Lorian.
we had
Hey,
3 this year.
Swifty. Hi, I haven't seen you in forever. Lake's here.
Lake is here.
What was I going to say? I don't know. I don't remember.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Swifty. You were saying hi to Swifty.
Swifty, that's right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just hadn't seen them yet.
They were talking the H word, hurricanes. I'm like, no, we have a few months off. It's 6 months out of the year. So I think it's November to March. They can all keep going.
My extended family is similar. But that's just holler living, past 8th grade. Most of them didn't go to school. They were put to work. So yeah, I find it like I have it all like on like tabs where I was going to like, I need to do more. I wanted to do like more research on it, but like the bad weather that we had, was that last week, was solar winds.
Oh,
So there's a hole in the sun. And so, yeah, all that came from, that's why we saw it so widespread, but yeah, it was basically from the hole in the sun. It was like I can't remember if it was like 5 times bigger than the size of the earth. But yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Oh, Sharon, you're right. June to November. I knew it was 6 months. I just didn't know. I couldn't remember. I remembered November.
My lovely guest is Crimezilla, my very good friend for a really long time.
Yes. Hello, Laura Ann.
But yeah, I was on CJ earlier. That was fun. It
Yes.
started
You did
out
a
kind of,
great.
I was like really like overwhelmed,
The
but I
beginning was
just,
very overwhelming, but you did great.
yeah, and I think it, and like I am trying to remember the young girl that came on and like shared some of her story with us about being, being catfished. And man, it is so easy. And these predators, they groom them online, and they know just what to say, like these young girls, and boys too, online, and they just um fret over the way their picture looks, and like, and then they get someone that like, oh, you're beautiful, and just like the trap is set, you know.
Right. Right.
And I'd really like to start, kind of doing, I think it'd be great to hear from people that on both sides of that, of like the people that are finding them online and the people that have been victimized online like that, because I think it's something that's so important to educate the children of warning signs, because
Ex- exactly.
like I have been trying to educate people on the warning signs inside of domestic abuse. Um, like there are many precursors to someone committing a domestic um, murder. Like I call it murder. The state of Indiana calls it involuntary manslaughter, and I think that's absolute bullshit. Um,
Right.
the, it's premeditated in my book. When you have a history of trying to kill the same person and then you finally do, or a long history of trying to harm girlfriends and then you finally kill one, that's premeditated murder. I don't understand why it's given a pass of this passion crime, a crime of passion. Get out of here. A crime of passion is like you're defending the like the honor of a woman that is being, almost assaulted in a parking lot of a bar, and you beat somebody up and they die. Like a crime of passion is not domestic violence. It's just
Right.
not. It really
Well,
ticks me
I'll
off.
tell you, Florida is, we have got some really good, they are cutting down on a lot of that. They don't play around.
Yeah, Florida ain't messing. They're not
They
messing
are
with it.
not. And you
Mm-mm.
know, what was it? Last week they had a group of 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys, all aged between 12 and 17, I think. And they were robbing cars, I think. And the 3 boys killed the 3 girls. And they were all one group. And man, if anybody hasn't seen that, that was up near Pensacola, Florida. And if you haven't seen that sheriff and what I mean, he basically came out, he was cussing and he was
Yeah.
like, no, they are, mm-mm.
Grady Judd is my favorite. I love it
Yeah,
when he gets his, like, I don't know what they are, but like the cardboard pictures of the
yes.
suspect.
And
Like
actually, the county I live
posts
in,
them down and then he just says whatever the fork he wants. It's
yeah,
great. Like he's
um,
my favorite.
Ivy's doing the same thing. The
Hey
county,
Sharon, good to see you.
and then like a lot of the Florida's hitting down on that. They are over it.
What
And
up, LA? Good to have you here. And you became a member? I am honored. LA is a cop and he's a really cool guy. You guys ought to go and sub to his channel. I'll link it.
it's LA Wilkes, Thin Black Line. I
Yeah, you
think
should jump on
I,
and talk to us.
I subbed to him. Yeah, bring him on. Um,
Yeah, really cool
I
dude.
actually subbed to him the other day when you told me, Mel.
Did you?
So I did. He didn't know who I was, but I was in there. Um, Grady Judd, yes, he's so cool. Um, we have criminal fishing out a criminal every Wednesday, and our county sheriff is, I mean, they're getting them, and they're also internet crime, like what you were just talking about. With that's where I was going. So now
Mhm.
I'm squirrel. Thank you. That's where I was going with that story, is the internet crime and the perpetrators trying to get these kids. Um, they've really they're doing a good job with it here. They're they just don't play around.
Yeah.
And I think and you mentioned this a little bit. You touched on it in the
Mhm.
previous talk, but the different states seem to be doing it a little differently, and they're
Yeah.
letting people off for the most ridiculous things, or they let them out after a year even though they get a 10-year sentence. What
Yeah.
makes them think they're not going to offend again? They are.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're they're sick. They need
Yeah,
help.
like, especially, the sexually violent, like, predators, like those predators are,
Yes,
like, yeah, that's at least a felony too in my book. Like, I don't get it. I don't know how, like Ruck was talking about earlier on CJ's, of just the and to I don't know. It's just a sad state to watch. Like that case here in Indiana just really ticked me the fork off with the Ricky Arion. If you have time,
yes,
it's like I'm not saying like everybody thinks you mentioned something in Carroll County is just automatically related to Delphi. The Delphi killer has been caught, in my opinion, and like what good is anything else? It's just
exactly.
and that's the thing is like Doug Carter, like, he just really underestimated the imaginations of people.
Right.
When, like, they can just, like
Flip it every which way.
the
And I
imaginations are, no one is going to be shocked. And so, like,
right.
I'm
Not
sorry, but
anymore.
I find it very shocking that the fucking killer was the CVS, like checking everybody out,
Right.
giving everybody their prescriptions, and literally standing by his own face on a
Exactly.
daily. Like the poster is like right there, like next to his face. And like that's the only pharmacy in Delphi. So like it's just
See,
like
it
that's shocking, that's hiding in plain sight, all right. Yeah, and, like, that's,
all the rabbit
um
holes we went down, I think that's why I was being a little impatient earlier,
yeah,
because we've been down all those rabbit holes.
we
So
have.
I
Yeah,
think they have the right person where he needs to be.
yeah,
And I just want to watch as it plays out, see what
yeah,
happens. And he's definitely innocent until proven guilty, and I get that. But I am,
yeah.
if they can prove it, I'm happy that the
I just saw your
family.
faces look familiar. I'm sorry, that tickled me.
Oh, I
And, like,
love.
nobody's really, like, jumped on that, and, like, to me, that's just, like, that's, like, a headliner, like,
I mean,
that's your
the police
clickbait.
the police were in there, I'm sure. Everybody. It made no sense. I mean, when they said he worked at CVS, I'm like,
Yeah,
huh?
that's shocking. That's the kinda
That
shocking I think Doug Carter has in mind. I
right.
do think there's elements of the crime scene that will when they come out, they will be shocking, but Now,
Right.
you listen up, Aspen Connor. You know that I am not going to tell anyone as like I'm not going to like sugarcoat my opinion. Get off the Ron Logan train. Ron Logan is not a good guy. He's dead, but that doesn't change the history of your life and the way you led it. So, by all accounts and purposes, his life, he was not a good person. Just That's my opinion. You don't have to like it. I don't really care. But I don't he's, like he's not the killer. So
Oh, Aspen.
they
They
don't
fill
hire
my scripts
murderers.
at Walgreens. They don't hire murder.
Mm,
Oh, he's hilarious.
I love him.
I
He's so
know.
funny.
He has such a personality too.
Yeah. Except like my favorite memory was when Graz dared to come on our um Chaotic and I's live. That was pretty priceless. And at one point I was just like, man, like I I feel bad. Like it's like you're when you're picking on someone of a limited I'll stop. This drink is a little bit stronger than the last one, so I'm gonna start being Mad Mel.
I I've had a week, so I had
I have
one
two.
when I
Hey,
got home.
Belinda. I've been so freaking busy this week. Like I worked so much. It was just a crazy week.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I no, like I had oh man. People ought to just like that's something that I like if they give Kegan Klein like some weak ass sentence. Like I did all the math on uh the different like thing, based on all of the charges, like the Indiana has like guidelines on, felony 6, felony 5, and like a cumulative, it's like 124 years is that would be the max. Like he's not going to get that, unfortunately. But like the recommended sentence for each of those, I think it was like, um, 2 years for the felony 5s, and then 1 year for 6 months to 1 year for the felony 6s. And so when you add them all up together, even the minimum, if he was charged for all of those, like it's a pretty steep sentence. And they better give that nasty, gosh, I can't even like, ugh. Every time I
So
see his picture, I'm just so grossed out. Like he's so gross.
yeah, so
And
I
he and
have to
like his
ask you.
actions from behind bars, while they're not as bad as Greeno's, they're pretty like he's been ridiculous,
Yeah, I
with
have
like
to ask you what is in the water in Indiana. I I
That's the thing is like there may be a little bit of mercury in ours, but then over
yeah.
in like Ohio, they've got like nickel. There's always
Okay,
something in the water. Like
we'll
we
take
just all
quarters.
are focused on Indiana.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, when I look at Alabama, I'm just like, and then Mississippi's really pissing me off right now with Mark Summerall. Like, I am so upset about that. Like, I want him out so bad. It's so ridiculous.
Right.
It is. It's an offensive sentence, and life without like think about that. Like, there are repeat like murderers that have murdered and then murdered again, and they have got less time than Mark Summerall.
Right.
Child predators that have victimized children for multiple different arrests and convictions, and they've got less time than Mark Summerall for shoplifting and cocaine. Like, that's I mean, if anything, if I want him out. Like, it's just ridiculous. Can you
Right.
imagine? He is
No.
he's 54 now. But he went into prison in his first offense was in 1993. And then
Okay.
he did not offend again. And that was kind of like, and that's the thing that really, it's like, is it really three strikes law? Because the from the way I read it, and I need to go over it a lot, and really focus in on understanding it. But it seems like the shoplifting and the cocaine were kind of like the same case. So that's iffy already of whether
Right.
it's three separate offenses with convictions and sentences. But like then the next one was in 2004. So 93 to 2004, you got like a decade, over a decade, which to me, like that is another thing about the third strike law that is breached here, that they've changed. Okay. That now they've changed that. So you have a guy he literally like stole a jacket. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, get this
Right.
guy out of here. And I like based on the like median of what an inmate costs a prison per year, and like I added it all up for the time that he's already served, and this is not including the courts and the appeal, like, and the lawyers and all of that jazz, which is probably, add a good another 50 onto that from
Right.
all these years. And then, it's like 300 and almost $400,000, It's like, and then by the time he dies in prison, um, if he lives like a natural life to say 75 years old, that's 20 more years. So times that by, it's
Right.
just absolutely asinine to me that, um, there's a
I
man in prison for that long, and like the thing is like the appeals that he has done, like he's done them pro se, which he's presented himself as his own lawyer, and like probably because he can't afford one, and probably because his family can't, and
right.
um
But he'll
they're
pay all the money back, right?
they've
With
been
the
technicalities.
Oh,
Technicalities is the issue, and then not paying the court fees on time, the appeal fee on time. Get the fork out of here. And then the another crazy factor is like the judge that overturned one of his appeals was actually like a was it the prosecutor on the original charge? Huh? What? Huh? Like that should be a recusal, like a conflict of interest. I can't remember if it was the defense or the prosecution, but yeah, like the judge that overturned one of his appeals, but the one that was just turned over in 2023, which he may be out of appeals, but the governor can easily reverse this ridiculousness that's going on in Mississippi. Meanwhile, they're letting child predators and murderers out. Like, hello, what? How does this make it make sense? Like make it make sense. It's so infuriating to me. But I feel like he's someone that deserves a second chance. Like there, like from all that I've researched, there isn't anything. It's just crazy. Like, that's a
The
person that deserves a second chance to be a productive member of society, where, like, um, what like an actual habitual offender, we all know and despise Greeno, like, every time they go to charge him with habitual offender, they end up dropping it for some plea deal. Like, he's pled out on every single case. And, like, Crime Geek came on earlier. I know it's been a rough week for her of dealing with his bullshit. But yeah, it was pretty crazy this week in Discord. I'll tell you what. But Greeno thought he was gonna come at LA Wilkes thin black line. Yeah, it didn't go well. It did not go well for him.
ooh, I
You
missed
know.
it.
Oh, it was
I have to go
yeah,
back
and
watch it.
it's just all the lies that he just, and then he said he was gonna if he wanted to, he would just kick her door down, and just he just can't help himself but be the show himself,
Oh,
just gotta, I don't know. It's gotten so crazy lately. It's just like like it if you if you can't see the warning signs of what is to come, and I'll leave it at that. I think I've said enough about how I feel about the escalation of domestic violence over the course of my channel. But,
yeah.
we don't have preemptive um, justice, so I can be preemptive in
So
warning people.
Charles Godwin, your does your pet alligator want to come play with mine that's in my backyard? We could set a play date up with the alligators.
I used to want to be Crocodile Dundee. I can't believe I just admitted that out loud. Like, I was gonna be like the female version of like Crocodile Dundee. Like, I live in Indiana for one. But I just thought it would be so cool to have like an alligator farm. No idea why. But I would like to have a snake. And my family is just really ticking me
Oh,
off because I love snakes. I think they're just so
no.
cool.
Mm-mm.
And they give really good massages. They do,
Oh
like on your
no.
neck, just because of
I've
the
got
way
a
that they
few in
they
my
move.
backyard. Do you want to come catch them?
Well, wild snakes are a little different. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't stand it. Like, I'll carry a moth outside. Like, I don't like to kill anything except for ants, there's and then like any kind of like almost microscopic, they gotta go. But like spiders and different things, like I'll just carry it outside. Like, I can't stand to kill anything. But like
Yeah. No,
um
I don't like snakes. I'll deal with a gator any day.
I'm not sure that I could watch a snake eat dinner.
No.
So that because it's rough, but the best thing for a snake is to give them live mice so that like to
No,
be
all right.
well
Mm-mm.
adjusted.
No,
That's what you feed them.
I'm squirreling
A
it.
lot of people feed them already dead mice that are like frozen or whatever,
Yeah,
and they
I
just
don't.
unthaw them. But what's best for the snake is to feed them live mice.
Well, the ones down here are huge. They like kittens, cats, and dogs, and kids.
But yeah, in my quest to save everything, there was a freaking gardener snake, like, yeah, it was kind of big, but it was in the yard and everybody wanted to just immediately kill it. And I'm like, no. And I just go over and I pick it up
Mm-mm.
and, pick it up and take it back, into the deeper part of the woods. And this is like Easter, So then I go in to eat and I go like this. Oh my God. Like garter sakes. When they are scared, they release this like disgusting stench that like literally everybody was so pissed at me like the whole Easter. Like I ruined it for everyone. And then like I couldn't get the smell off my hands. It was totally terrible. I mean, I still don't regret it because I saved that snake's life. But hey, Sleuth, what's up? Glad you're here. Are you feeling better?
Hi, Sleuth.
I was trying to talk him in. He mentioned he brought it up though. He brought it up, but he was saying that like to cure like he's been under the weather and not feeling good, and he was talking about garlic and tequila, and I was
Oh,
like, that sounds like a really good insomnia crew night. Like I would like to see this garlic and tequila. I mean, there's no way I could do it. I'd be hammered. I'd be falling back into my shower curtain here. Jinx let me know that, of course. 70%. Well, that's good. Yeah, garlic and tequila will cure cancer. You know what? Talk about a freaking. I'm gonna get into like stuff that I shouldn't, but I don't really care. It's
oh
just
boy.
truth.
Where are you
Yeah.
going with that?
I cannot wait for a whistleblower to come in and tell the truth about cancer treatment and cancer research. It's
Oh,
about forking time. Like we've put up with this bullshit for too long. Like
yep.
and everybody just accepts it. Mm, like my dad is probably, he is highly intelligent and he studies things. I get it honestly of just the analness of research. But we were talking the other day and like I've looked into it independently because I'm sorry, I'm not doing no chemo. Absolutely not. It's basically like can we kill the cancer before the chemo kills you? It's
Exactly.
barbaric, and it
Es-
it has been the standard treatment for way too long, but
Essential
it's
oils
a
can get through.
multi-billion-dollar business. So, but, he was talking to me about, I mean, it's extreme, but, like, it's basically a 14-day because with, like, the cancer cells, like, even in, chemotherapy, like, they give you glucose because the cancer will, it doesn't it needs sugar to so they will trick the whatever and give you glucose and then the chemo will attach to that because that's what it feeds on, the cancer does, and how it grows and spreads. And so basically there's one where it's just like a 40-day water to kill it, and then
Oh,
also the ketogenic diet.
yes.
And there's like there are some really good, I have family in the medical field, so sometimes they will be so gracious as to give me, the because like we can look up, the peer reviewed journals and things like that and get basically like the cliff note, like the little intro, into what it's really going to talk about. And
Yes.
so like sometimes I'll be like, please, can I have this one? And they'll get it for me.
Yeah.
But
Can I have some?
yeah, I do that a lot with vaccines and different things like that. But yeah, this cancer crap is
Yeah.
there needs to be a whistleblower like real soon.
The problem is when
It's
they do,
disturbing.
I
But
know.
if you think about like the nature, like of just understanding the like uh, cancer, um, literally that you could cure it with diet alone. You know, if you
Yeah,
starve the cancer of what it needs to survive and spread, which
right.
is glucose. So, you know, like, if you starve it of that, you know, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go I'll do radiation if, like, say I had a brain tumor. Like, I'm not dumb, I'm gonna do radiation, but I'm not doing chemotherapy.
Yeah.
No, I've so many clients and people that, I've just seen, like, literally destroy them, and they're never right. Like, you don't ever recover from chemotherapy.
Oh,
It's
no.
now you have a lifelong multi-system, failure and,
Right.
illness
So,
illnesses because of
Sharon,
it.
does your doctor have you on D3 with vitamin K? I get mine compounded. It's D3 with K.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be really, I mean, that's what I've been on for about a year now.
yeah. Yeah, there's just gotta be something better. I'll go to that place. I don't know where it is. I know it's somewhere. I wanna say Michigan, which kinda surprised me. I'll have to ask my dad again, but
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I would totally do that. Like, if you think about 40 days, I know that that's gotta be tough, and it's all under supervision from medical, like, doctors, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna give that a try first. It's 40 days, and, the like, how sick people are on chemotherapy, and, like, I am not a medical, like, disclaimer on this. This is just my personal research, my personal choice. Do not turn down chemotherapy because you heard me talking about this, please. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Everybody needs
just
to
a
make their own
just a
choice
conversation here.
with your doctor.
Oh, right.
There's the disclaimer.
Yeah, and it burned her skin. Yeah, from the
Yeah.
inside out. She died that way. Enough
That's so
said.
sad.
That's yeah, that's just disturbing.
That is not good.
I was also kinda looking into, I mean, just like, like, I was just that nerd at the library, like, so now with easy access, like, I would
Right.
go to the library and, like, I would have all my questions that I have thought of that week written down on a little piece of paper in my dyslexic hand, like, mostly my mom helped me write that, but, like, and I would go and try to find the answers to what I just wanted to know that week that had come up in my life, and then, like, sneaking off to um, true crime section or the psychology sections of the
Yeah.
library and, like, sneaking and hiding somewhere in the library so I could read the book because I wasn't
I'm going to
allowed,
read this.
obviously.
I'm going to read it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, Charles, are you North Florida, South, East, or West? Don't tell me where, but because it is a public forum.
Yeah. Bid. It is became it's a crisis.
It really is. It
And
takes a
please
while.
dig
Like,
deeper on vaccines too. People need to dig
oh,
deeper on
don't get
those.
me started.
Hey, Shelly. Yeah, it's a
Southwest. Okay. Yeah, he's got bigger snakes than we do.
yeah.
Bigger gators too, probably.
Oh. Yeah, one of these days, I'll get me a steak. No, now buy no python.
You
They're so
enjoy that.
they're so pretty.
None would ever sleep in my house. My kids would, they wanted, because, I raise boys. They wanted a pet snake. I'm like, not if you want me living there. I would move out. There's no way.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, you did. I'm glad that you're here to talk about it.
I mean, I can't, like things that I should be afraid of, zero fear. Like they don't affect me. I like anything adrenaline based, like jumping out of airplanes. I don't think I'll ever cliff dive again. That was not um that was scary. Like and that's the thing is like I really do feel like I was 18 and when I did that and like every day that I've got to live past that has just been bonus cuz I should have died. Like I really should have died, Like it was
Yeah,
way too high, way way too high, the running and the jumping out so that you don't
right.
fall onto the rocks. And then, because you're so high, you have to hit the water in basically a pencil. Like your chin has to be up, your feet have to be pointed down,
Yeah,
your
no.
hands have to be you have to have your body like completely stiff. And so not only do you have to run and jump, and then get yourself into a pencil and then you're falling, I mean, and it was pretty fork and far. And then but I do all of that perfectly, which is kind of that's not yeah, I am not coordinated. Like I'm not. And so I do all of that perfectly. I've jumped out far enough that I'm not going to die on the rocks. I've got myself in this stiff, perfect point, and I forget to take a breath. So
Um,
I go torpedoing down into this like it was kind of like I don't know, it was in Maui, so it was like a spring, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, basically, and I didn't take a breath, and so I was tiny too, like I was too skinny in high school. And I just go straight down in this water and it's black. Like I can't see anything. I have taken no breath and I don't know which way the surface is. Like I
oh my
had
God.
that's how far down I penciled. And yeah, like I don't I literally like I don't know. I can it's such a vivid memory too of like the feeling of like it was like such a weird feeling of
Out of
how to even
place.
describe it of
Not
like
even knowing where you were. Almost like confusion.
yeah, and it was a complete panic. And then it was almost like I want to say like similar to like euphoria of like just a really psychedelic type of feeling right like before, like I did, obviously I'm alive, so I made it to the top of the water.
Yeah.
But my like high school boyfriend, I don't know, like I don't know, he messages I don't know how he would have known, but he jumped in and I mean, he saved my life. So yeah, but it was like a
Oh,
really
did he go
weird
down
like
and grab you?
yeah. Mhm.
Good.
A little bit, but, yeah, it was just a wild, like yeah, and we had gone there's Black Sand Beach, which is, from all the volcanoes and stuff. So it's beautiful. And so there's like, it's like miles. You got to walk like a freaking mile to get to the deeper water where you can like snorkel and stuff.
Mm.
So we're doing all that. I failed at snorkeling. Not, I couldn't get the hang of it. And so I'm just like so tired, from keep swallowing seawater. And I decided that I find this rock and I'm like, I'm just going to get on this rock and like, I'm over this. And so the part where I was climbing on the rock was actually a turtle.
Oh my
And it bit me in
gosh.
the Achilles because I was trying to like, do one of these to like sit up on the rock.
Right.
And so this turtle bit me right in the Achilles and it was bleeding. And I'm a heavy bleeder, like really heavy. I'm usually, they usually have to give me stuff to clot my blood before procedures and like
Oh
babies and
wow.
stuff. And yeah, so I'm like profusely bleeding from the Achilles in the water, and they want me to walk a mile in like 2-3 foot of water where we've just seen like sharks and killer whale season is about upon us. And I'm like, sharks can swim in 2 feet of water. I'm not. I am not getting that water. Like, I'm absolutely not walking that far with this freaking foot. And so he gave me a piggyback ride all the way back to shore.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
It
mind.
was
I
a
mean,
crazy trip.
I like the ocean, but the more I learn about the big sharks and stuff, it's a little, but it's still amazing. I like the West Coast
Yeah.
better than the East Coast because you can see. And then when we were in Hawaii,
Good night, vid
I
inquiries.
snorkeled and I loved it. It was like being in a big fish bowl because you
Yeah.
could see for miles. It was amazing. Now that I could do again.
Yeah. We're going to Mexico in like a month and a half, and I'm so pumped. Like, this resort is so badass. But and we have a swim up like suite, like just
Oh,
me and my girls. So it's like just a girls trip with me and my two girls, and I'm so pumped. And we have like a swim up suite to where you just basically like walk out of your back porch and you're in the water.
nice.
But yeah, they have all of these like adventure parks. There's like 7 of them. And like one of the we actually got to pick, we have to pick a lot of that stuff like before we go, and I haven't done it yet. Oops. Um but one of them is like where you can walk along the bottom of the ocean in this like, I don't know, it looks like what scuba gear used to look like in like the 1930s. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be like the coolest experience to, like walk on the bottom of the ocean. And I mean, that's just freaking cool. But like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I can't even wear necklaces. Like, I wear zero jewelry because of like sensory, like I can't stand the way they feel. And so, I have no idea how to say your name, but hello. Hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, it's like, so it's like this big, like goes around. It looks like an astronaut, like this big thing. And I'm like, I mean, my girls want to do it. I'm like, I don't think I can. Like, I don't think I could. I think I'll like freak out with having something wrapped around my neck like that. Da poor session. Hello. How are you? I was gonna say sir, but that's your guys' talk. But I've been over with Ruckus. He's but we've been we're spending a lot of time with LA Wilkes, he stopped in here earlier in the Depor session, and his beautiful wife Kai, and a few other people that they always have on panel. And it is just like, it's just, it's so, um, it's not like it's not true crime really. Like LA does some like in the mornings, like he'll have one tomorrow morning at like 10. So, and they're really, really good topics, and topics that need to be talked about too. And like the same with the porch session, like they do just like so many I've learned so much. And where it's like they're willing to hear out just about anybody, and because like conversations is what changes the world. And I think that's what like I just really respect about you guys. So thank you for adding to my world. I appreciate it. I love that. And I truly believe that like we can all, conversations change the world. And there's so many conversations that need to be had, and there's nobody like taking a stand and being like, hey, like, we need to get our shit together. Like us humans
Right.
need to get our shit together. And
Yes, I
we really
agree.
do, just like that issue I brought up in the beginning with our what we're teaching our children, to be ashamed of this country. That alone is going to be the end of America as we know it. Like we will cease to exist. We will become a social. That's exactly what we're heading toward when we teach our children to be ashamed of the country that is still the best country in the world. Um, I don't. There is no really argument for it. It's like it's a fact.
Oh
There is
yeah.
no country that is, and we're not as strong as we used to be. You know, but his some of the like one of the panel members he has on quite often. I just am blown away by this guy. His name is Blacks. Is it Blacks with a Q, right? De Porsche. Um, the porch, the Porsche. Sorry, that's a C. I had my like forking eyes, like I can't freaking see. It's so annoying. But um, how do you hate a place you refuse to leave? Yeah, yeah, it is facts.
Just call me Uncle
It's
Tom.
scary. Yeah, Uncle Tom with a K.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, Blacks Who Defy. So he has shorts, and I subbed earlier this week, and yeah, like definitely, I'm just gonna grab them because like this dude is freaking crazy. I don't know, like he to me he's just like highly intelligent.
Oh wow.
But yeah, his shorts are just like so encouraging, and just like little things to like help you understand, help you like uh
He put
you know
he is awesome.
huh.
The porch put he is awesome.
Yeah, Uncle Tom and Kai are really cool people. And
That's
tell Kai, like, I told her I was gonna order a cup today because, oh my gosh, another thing that I freaking love is I mean, you guys know, like, I paint and I do chalk and, like, art and stuff. Well, she is, like, a phenomenal artist with tumblers. So she makes these I love them. They're like, "Mwah." But she makes these, like, videos where she's showing you, like, how to so that is, Uncle Tom, who's in the chat, B Rad. He's always over there too. And Willie D too. Look at all y'all coming over. Thank you. Hey, Melissa. But yeah, I've been having a good time, and I haven't even just like I'm like people are like, when are you gonna go live? And like I don't know. I'd rather be over there listening to them. Sometimes they get a little rowdy. Sometimes there's opinions I don't agree with, especially when they concern Andrew Tate. But I've done a lot of research on that guy, and I truly do think he's a psychopath. You just got to really watch. Like, you got to pay attention to um, the yeah, like he's a psychopath. Oh man,
Crimezilla, please don't hate the play, hate the game.
oh. Is he live right now?
Who?
And Kai makes it really hard to find her channel because she's got a palm tree in front of it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough like conversation, but yeah. Yeah, I like to me like with the whole Andrew Tate thing, like it doesn't it's not a gender, or like a anything to me. It's just simply based on the fact that he's a psychopath. He's like narcissist and psychopath, and just all you have to do is just really watch like some of it. And I know that he's like goes over the top, to be, whatever, but there's definitely like cues that you can pick up like on that guy. So like there's things that I don't, you know, he's yeah. He is not top G Brad. B Rad. Stop it.
That's why I type be rad.
Yeah. And then like, with um they have been, not me. I mean, I just talk in the chat, but like I think I am gonna join them on Saturday. So that's gonna be fun. It's
Oh,
Kai's
that'll be
birthday.
fun.
Yeah, so I told her I would take shots for her so she doesn't have to drink them all. So that should, I don't know if that's going to go well at all, but that's Blacks Who Defy. The like subscribe and just watch his shorts. They're really sweet. He's a smart guy. And then I don't have I always just find her when she's live.
Shots,
But
shots.
the palm tree messes it up. I don't have a palm tree. Oh, I found it.
You're like, I found it.
I don't know. I like watching the like people make like their art. Uh, like it's so calming to me and just like um gets me in like a better mental headspace. So I enjoy those. And then her in LA go live. I think it's like every day at 12. And then he goes live at 10 and it's like just kind of shining a light on like his perspective with being a cop and um, with uh what are some of them, like mass shootings and she gone. And then the police brutality type cases and like breaking them down in an unbiased like fashion, just like telling the truth. So it's pretty cool. But that's Kai right there. Y'all should sub to her. I'm gonna drink water with you, boo. Well, I got Tito's in my water. Are you gonna do that? Show tonight at 8. Huh? Like Friday? Yeah. Oh, so Uncle Tom's at 8 tomorrow. That's the lineup. See, I've been so busy. I haven't had time to go live on my channel. Oh, you gonna do tequila? My friend Sleuth and Tuition is he was talking about doing tequila with garlic to get over his illness that he's having. I think it's like congestion. I'm not sure if it's cold or flu or whatever, but I was like, oh Lord, I think you need to do that live. Like, I think we need to see that. I couldn't do the garlic. I'm allergic, so I'd die. What? It's the best because you're like hydrating with the water. So they kind of like cancel each other out, and then you can add a little lime. But yeah, people have been like, only alcoholics mix their vodka with water. I'm like, whatever. I'm trying to watch my sugar for my Mexico trip. No, LA is tomorrow. The 10 o'clock show. But yeah, they're really just like cool people and seem like really, I mean, I don't know them personally, but you know, I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. And just the Conspiracy Wednesdays, I know my man, he's so paranoid. He doesn't even like me talking about him online. Like, he's so paranoid. He would fit right in with a lot of their topics. He's yeah, he's different. I finally told him one day, I'm just like, listen, like, pick me up at the FEMA camp. Like, I am not doing all that. I'm not doing all that shit. You know, like, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but like, I'm not doing all that shit. And I mean, you'd have thought that I cheated on him. Like, he was just like, oh, like, you're not going to fight. I was like, I'm sorry, but like, we're going to run out of bullets. I know we have a lot of them, but like, we're going to run out against the army, you know, like, we're going to run out. But, what? You didn't think Greeno was good? S-bit? What's that mean, Charles? Expand. Yeah, I'm not a vampire. Yeah, for like a brief second. It was more of a I mean, I know what you're trying to do, but it's okay. It was more of a I didn't have anything to do with him until he started talking to the family that I have love. I've grown to love, that I have helped, and been talking to them since 2019. And they were like, you know, who is this? You know, who's this guy? Like, he's not getting the facts right on the case. And so that was why I ever ended up talking to him, was at their bequest. And you know, like, I gave him a chance. He did seem like that last time he came out, after he had threatened to kill all those EMTs and doctors and cops and the sheriff's department and everybody else, and was spitting on him and all that stuff, you know, like what the court document says about him. Yeah, you can read it. You can foyer those right on up. But yeah, so and Bailey does not, the guy that he says was corrupt and you know, falsified his police report. Yeah, he doesn't even work in that county. So nice try, but he failed yet again to justify his ridiculousness. But yeah, like you can give people a chance and, then, he was doing good there he had a run of like, longer than he'd had before. But yeah, no, that's, I know what you're trying to do, Charles. I've seen you around. I see your comments. I'm not dumb. But yeah, he's been acting a fool up in Discord, and he he played himself is all I'm gonna say. Like he played himself trying to talk to LA, like LA Wilkes. Yeah, he got it, like it was in Discord, and he is saying that he's going to kick in um Crime Geek store if he wanted to, and being all ridiculous. And someone showed like the video of where he said the N-word, which he did it. Like it's his account, which that was his first excuse, was it wasn't his account, it was fake accounts. Well, that was proven wrong. So then he had to go to the second lie, which was someone that's dead, of course, broken, that hacked his account and did all that. And if you were around, you would have known. Yeah, no, I know people that have been around this whole time, and that guy's just a fool. And good night, DePorch. But yeah. No, I don't think you're trying to call me dumb. I think you're trying to be passive aggressive a little bit. No, I'll hear you out, like, I think that giving people second chances, like I I have a lot of friends that have felonies, and the difference between them and Greeno is um they they learned from their mistakes, and they grew, because the bottom line is a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And if you learn from it, it's a life lesson, and those are invaluable to human growth. And so when you have a guy that excuses his grossly inappropriate, reprehensible, deviant behavior, when you have a guy that does that, like that's not someone that has learned from their mistakes, because they keep repeating them. If they really did change, then like that's a whole different story. Hey Gray, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the donation. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, B-Rad. Just ignorance, and the hate you give affects everybody. Like it's when that's what you give, it just really does. And that's like racism and bigotry and things like that. But we gotta draw a line somewhere. We gotta really draw a line when we have a society that is like, there's a thing as babies. That's like a thing. And the I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, and like he didn't even say that in a joking manner, and it's like, and then you're going to try to justify and explain yourself to a guy like LA, and like he just demolished him. And then he, of course, you know, Green, like at one point, Greeno was like, he was like, dude, like the people that I know are the ones that are going to be arresting you probably soon. And he was like, I arrest people too. That was the best one. Like telling a cop, like, I arrest people too. Which was just always been a lie. Yeah, he really did, like, there was nothing he could no, he's not. It is literally like, okay, this is the headline. You can look it up. Bounty hunters nationwide. I don't think the word was rejoice, but a word similar. Um, Relieved that Anthony Greeno is been extradited back to Tippy to serve the sentence. Like, he had arrest warrant. He was like on the run, pretending like he was a bounty hunter, and he was just forking up everything for them, and they were tired of him. Like, you are a disgrace to our actual like jobs. And then he goes on this, you know and Ivory Rose, you gotta love her. Like, she got the proof. She emailed Liz Owens to see if there was a retraction on the article that the expose that was about him. And yeah, she was like, yeah, no, he fled back to Indiana like right after this, but there's been no, we haven't retracted anything that we said about him. He sat here and told us all of it in an interview. And if you would like, you could find the extended interviews of him and Nightmare, like Jim Statuich. I'm not saying it right. Like, it's like a weird name. But the extended interviews where, he was basically like, I don't know what he is, but dumb. But he's been labeled a domestic terrorist, if that tells you anything. But yeah, he wore a Black Lives Matter shirt to Golden Corral, but it was like, it was, like a middle finger to Black Lives Matter, and then a bunch of words on the back that I'm not even going to say. And he's just ridiculous. And so, like, the whole thing is just, I don't know how they didn't just knock him right down. Like, it's all awful. Ooh, threats been sent into probate. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. And I have enough for um it's hard in Indiana because it does seem like something ain't right with, like, what goes on in Carroll County with Reno. But like, I have enough. From my understanding of the law and what he has just said to me personally so far, I have enough for intimidation charges against him for sure, which he's been charged with in the past, because we all know little shit that does that all the time. But hey, Kai, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. But the other day when I messaged out on Wednesday, it really forked my day up because I thought it was Thursday and it was going to be Friday and it was my day off and I was going to pick out me a cup. So I'm going to do that tomorrow because it is Friday tomorrow. So that really was upsetting. Oh, my daughter's home. I'm waiting for him to sell his set up. to sell his setup, his fams just paid for again. Yeah, how many times have they done that? Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Just over and over again. They keep buying him his stuff. Marbles, no offense to your daughter, but cold truth is Snow Queen. Daughter gotta get her street cred first. But yeah, it's Kai's birthday on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. They're gonna have I think I'm still invited, right? I was gonna pop on and take some of her shots for her. So yeah. I'm not gonna try I can't take too many because, like we don't want that hot mess. Had not known the truth about. Yeah. My thing is like he brings nothing, like my philosophy in life on how I interact with this world is based like it can be summed up in a very short 8-minute article. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's not about being like passive. I can't stand passivity. I think that's like the lamest is when people are just like, oh, that's too much drama, and they never really stand for anything, because, like another one is like, you got to stand for something or you fall for anything. And so, but that article, it does say the F word 127 times. Don't buy the book. You don't need it. It's Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And yeah, it'll change your world, like it teaches you how to, the importance of, you don't just, spread your F's out there just, willy-nilly. Like you really gotta, like, you save them, you don't waste them on, like I was wasting some forks at the time on the McDonald's double line because nobody obeys it, and then people just cut you off. And I was wasting my forks on that. I was giving too much of my care on these trivial things, of like rude people at Kroger, like just rude people in general that think they're entitled to everything, and just the dumb stuff that goes on in politics and the schools and everywhere you go. And so like I read that, was just kind of like, yeah, like those aren't important. And because I'm wasting all my forks on that shit, I don't have them to give to what really forking matters. And like, so yeah, like I read that a long time ago and just kind of like, yeah, like I get it. I get it now. I get it. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Oh, my special dog. He's a special guy. But yeah, so when you save them up and you find something that you're passionate about, you don't give a fork what anybody says. Like I really don't. Like, I never block trolls or delete comments or delete videos, I do not care. I don't care about adversity. Because I've saved all of my F's up, and I chose to give them to Greeno because he is he's worthy of them. And so I have him to give, and I don't really care who doesn't like it, like it I think they think that they're really affecting me by the words they say, but yeah, like I mean, how many months have I been doing this and I haven't been deterred? Like not much, when I set my mind to something, like I'm really stubborn about it. But yeah, they can keep trying. Your nice account, Charles. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, like, the thing is like, it started out being like, I told him I would go Beth Dutton on him. I told him I would go level 12 psycho if he, screwed them over, and, I kept my word, you know? I it's like, if you do that, if you steal from them, if you steal from a murder victim's family, I will go level 12 cycle on you. And he did, and I sure did, and, that's just the way it is. Like, um, the only thing that irks me about it is all of the cases that I pour, like, a lot of my time and research into. He thinks it's like I'm, covering him for views and, mm, l like, he think like, this is his whole life is YouTube. It's not mine. Like, if I got banned from YouTube tomorrow, I'd be like, "Man, like, I really I hate that for the families, that I've covered, and I would wanna make it up to them in some way, but, like, this isn't this like, I have a lot more. I got 3 jobs, really, and this is, like, my 4th. Like, I've got a great family, my kid, like, but it's all he has, it's all he has, and it's like, so he thinks that's, like, the biggest deal to me, but I would just be sad for the cases that I covered, and it upsets me more that those don't get views, because those are, um, spreading awareness about Greeno is important. Obviously, it's important to me, but, yeah, he's such a loser, Kai. But, like, the Amber Crumb, Olivia Fowler, Shannon Polk, Ray Hainish, Nicole Bowen. I could go on, all of the cases that I've covered. Charles, Horvath Allen, all of the cases and all of the families that I still talk to this day and try to help in any way that I can. Haley Kelly, Nakota's mother. That case is just the one that, like, they're all hard, but, when you hear a mother, you're trying to walk them through through court, and, like, we'd already called the library. The library was in on it. They helped her get Wi-Fi, and she was just really nervous about, this is the first time that there's gonna be a court hearing, right? And, we're on the phone, and, she's just talking, just anxiety talking, and this mother of this murdered child by her, ex, says to me in a conversation, I'm sorry, it gets me every time, um, that she's picked out a casket for her son, like, she just wants her son back, and it's shaped like a baseball, because he loved baseball, and like, I'm just trying to, keep her mind occupied before this hearing starts, and so it's like, "Oh, that's really," like, "that's really cool," like, I haven't seen, like, anything like that in the United States. Like, I didn't say this part to her, but, like, I watched that Ricky Gervais show with his friend where he sent him, and I saw that episode where they do make caskets into, like, crazy cool shit. But, I had just said, like, "Oh, that's really cool, like, I haven't heard of that," and she says, "Yeah, because it's an infant casket. It's an infant casket because her 10-year-old son was, dismembered, and his body parts were put in Indiana, Illinois, in Missouri, and they have found 0 of them. And the case has been, so just when you hear that from a mother, like that's the stuff that's really important. I can't fucking imagine. I really can't. That's the worst of the worst. And this mofo has been, they have Indianapolis, Indiana, IMPD, the court systems in Indiana they have rescheduled his murder trial without a body. There was enough blood, if that tells you anything, to charge him with first-degree murder, which is, there is no first-degree murder in Indiana. It is simply murder. Murder is intentional killing of another. So it's premeditated murder. And then we go down to manslaughter. We don't have felony necessarily, like felony murder. We don't have like, murder 1, murder 2, murder 3. We have murder, intentional killing of another, which is premeditated. And then you go into involuntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, and manslaughter. So, that this mother, that's her reality. Like, think about that. That's her reality every day. And so for him to say that I am only covering him to get views and subs, that pisses me right the fork off, because I don't like, I can cover him because it's like helping families by proxy, like once removed, like I can help protect all the families that he's hurt. Find me a family that doesn't have a negative story to tell about Greeno. That's why I do that, is because, like I can help them being removed from, and sometimes you have to know your limits, and that's a tough one, Yeah, he can't. Yeah. His dad was Mexican. Yes, he is, and he's still alive, and he won't even claim him because he's like embarrassed. It's like, yeah, it's really messed up. There's just a lot of messed up stuff, like, yeah, Charles, there's no way that, between the brain matter and the insane amount of blood that they found in the apartment, down the stairs and in his vehicle once he was caught, there's no way that Nakota Kelly could have survived that. And so they know, and he had called 2 different people and told them that he killed his son. And, he didn't do anything to cover up his murder, but he went to great lengths to hide the body of his son, because it was a spite. It was revenge, because he had lost control over Haley. She was independent from him. She was standing up for herself, and Nakota was trying to stand up for himself. He told the courts, he told DCS, my dad's going to kill me. If I have to go to my dad, this is what this little boy said, and it is documented in DCS reports. If you send me to my dad's, he's going to kill me. And he did. you know, like, yeah. Yeah, and so it's offensive to my sensibilities and my, like, everything about what I stand for, that that punk ass is, trying to say that, like, cover him so that I can grow my channel and get views. It's upsetting to me that the Greeno content I have has more views than the other cases that I've covered, you know? It's that's upsetting to me. Those should be the ones that have the highest numbers. Um, and I do have a lot of content on Greeno because it's it's like literally a constant game of like, oh, well, here he is again, like when he goes away from YouTube, I will leave him alone. When he leaves the true crime community and he goes off and crochets, like has a crochet channel or, frog hunting. I don't catfish wrangling, whatever the fuck all that shit is. Like when he does all that, like I will leave him alone. Like it will be a non-issue. But when he is preying on victims of murder, they've gone through enough. They don't need the likes of him. Um, you know, they don't need the likes of him. And so when he leaves the true crime community, I'll stop making content on him. But he's just never run out of lies. He is always telling lies. And you can literally, like, so, it's truth and a lie. Like, here's the truth, here's his lie. And here's the truth, he doctored this document. No one tried to have him killed. No one hired anybody to have him killed. He's lying. He falsified a court document, which is a crime, by the way. And it's just, it just goes on and on and on. And the way that, like, there's so many, like I requested of the court all of his case files, and so that took a lot of time. And I'm like super OCD when I cover that. And like when you're a case file isn't something that, I'm not a journalist, I'm not going to summarize that. So you just kind of gotta like read it and show your work and like prove it. And so like that took a while. And then it was breaking down the lies that he's told about the Delphi case, because that pisses me right off. And then it was the amount of people that he has hurt that have reached out to me personally. And then like they're so traumatized by what he's done to them, and they're so afraid that they won't speak out. But they have shown me proof of what he has done to them. And so I'm their voice, I'm their voice, and that's what I do, and you think so, Charles? Wow. When it's not even necessary. Yes, MK, like it's not even necessary. It's like, what are you doing? And then the fact that, like, I wouldn't even dignify it with a response, but it's late. But like, he literally, okay, so he goes live and he has on Ed Bounce and Real Chill Graz, which there's nothing chill about the dude. But so so 3 criminals, and they are breaking down a protective order hearing that they said that I got, that I got, like deceitfully, which no, it wasn't. It was paid for and gotten by the clerk of courts in Manatee County, okay? And like It's so cringe. Like when you listen to all of the things that he said, and it is definitely, um, so he's got him. He's a bitch. He's a habitual criminal. That's what he is. That's a fact. And then he's got Ed Bounds on there. That guy, can't stand him. He is a real piece of work. He's just a bad dude. And he's on there. And then Real Chill Graz is on there. We got 3 criminals breaking down this protective order that is just like there's no, like, you can't, like, I don't know how people could like listen to their rhetoric and think they're anything but dumb. That's why I didn't respond to it, because it's just like so 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 cringe. It's the same thing of just like, he gets out of jail, he writes this long post owning his mistakes, and then he follows that up by proving to you that he is not sorry, he has done nothing wrong. And then yet again, it's the system. Everybody's out to get him. He is the victim. How many more times is he gonna be able to claim that he's a fucking victim before y'all like be like, yeah, like maybe I ought to take a pause and like remember all the times that I bought him equipment? Yeah. How many times can you really do that? And when you escape, when you know you're gonna have a warrant out and you decide to flee and then you get arrested, that's nobody's fault but your own, for one. But when you abandon your property all over everywhere you go, because he's never owned a home. Like, I don't even know if he's ever had an apartment on his own. Is he just like, he's just a couch surfer. So, yeah, like, like you don't, you can't like expect people to just hang on to your crap for an indefinite amount of time. Like, that's not a thing. Like, you abandon your property, they have every right to throw it away, but that's not what she did, because she does have a heart. She's a good person. She did send a bunch of his stuff to his dad, but the computer, that's a different story, because he gave her access to that computer. And let me just tell you, when I say that I would take that out into my backyard and take a 12 gauge to it, I'm not saying that lightly, you know. That's the content that is on there is, this is something to consider of why that has not been returned, and why I would say I would take a 12 gauge to it. And the thing is he's lied so much about the Delphi case. All of his content that he's so concerned about getting back. No, that he's made up so much shit. I'm not going to go so far as to say he's interfered with the investigation. I think that's a step too far. But what does he know that you don't? Like, really think about that. Other than boots on the ground, but now we got Thomas Frost. We've got HCC. We got Who's Your Cold Cases. We have Thomas Frost. And they're boots on the ground. And Thomas Frost has been doing a really good job. And like, I mad respect to that dude for standing up after he'd done that live on Flora because of the reprehensible things that Greeno has done. And he's boots on the ground now. Randy Gravitt, he's always been boots on the ground. We don't need him. He hasn't brought anything to this case. You know what he does? People pay him to give them tours of the Delphi trails. That's not just this new couple. He's been doing that for a long time, and people pay him to do that. That's disturbing. That's disturbing. But I'm tired, and my daughter's home, and she's tired, and she's ready to go to bed. So I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate everybody that's come in. Just getting back in the swing of things. I've got 2 cases that are ready to go, 2 missing men that I want to cover. And then I'm going to do, I think Incog and I are going to do something for Flora. That's a hard one for me, just because the same reason that Delphi was hard for me before the killer was caught. So, yeah, it's a hard one just to feel like it's just a rock in a hard place with Flora. I've followed it from the very beginning, and it is near and dear to my heart. But it's a tough one. It's a rock in a hard place for me personally, just because of the sheer amount of family. I mean, I have a huge family, and I don't speak to the majority of them. But you run into, that it's a rock and a hard place. So I will see you guys all soon, probably Sunday. I'm going to try to do the 2 gentlemen on Sunday night, maybe Sunday late afternoon. We'll see. But I hope you guys all have a good Friday and Saturday. I'll probably be around tomorrow somewhere hanging out in chats, but it was good to catch up with everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you later.